Hi there! Welcome to this Basing ID tutorial where I will share my approach to create and paint a snow-themed base. I'll be using Covenant of Antarctica commandos from Dystopian Legion as the example. Part of my footage for this video had some lighting issues, so I will be incorporating replacement footage from an earlier recording of a Deathwatch Terminator. Let's start. I will begin by applying a concrete rubble and basing grit to the bases using superglue and PVA glue respectively. It is important to moist the joining surfaces a little before applying the superglue or it won't set. This is especially important if the area you live in has very dry air. Next, I will apply a basing paste to the bases, in this case Armageddon dunes. The color is unimportant as we will paint it over anyway. For one of the bases, I'll be leaving a large crack, which will be filled with still water later. This is a rubber brush for those who are wondering. I will now paint the texture with Ulthuan grey air, which I have chosen for its thinner consistency that easily fills the crevices. I will follow this with white scar air and apply it on the raised areas in several layers. Turning our attention to the rocks, we can start with a base coat of black and Bastion grey in equal proportions. Adding one brush load of Stegadon scale green, I will paint the areas closest to the ground. Then I replace Stegadon Scale Green with Bloodstone and paint the upturned surfaces. A final touch is to add some white scar air in very thin layers. Some other details I'd like to add are ice pools using a 2-to-1 mix of rust grey and temple guard blue. I thin down the paint a lot with water to allow it to flow into the crevices without hitting the raised parts of the texture. I will also use this mixture to paint the part of the ice block closest to the water. I will then add a brush load of Kantor blue and paint a large crack. The painting of the base is now almost complete. We can now paint the base rim in a desired color and seal the paint with varnish. Now it's time to finally add the snow effect. I will start by creating a glaze of titanium white pigment thinned with pigment medium and use it to tint the various areas on both the base and the miniature. I really like the powder texture it has once dry. For the Deathwatch Terminator, I'll be gluing on some tufts to the base. I use both Tundra tufts and frozen tufts from Army Painter. I didn't add this detail to the bases of the commandos to give them a more desolate feeling. In this tutorial, I'll try two approaches at adding snow texture. The first is by mixing snow texture from Gale Force 9 in equal volumes with PVA glue. If you add too much PVA glue, the snow will become transparent, similar to ice, and that is why I don't sprinkle it on a bed of glue like you would normally do. I've seen many examples of cheaper powder products, like baking soda, to be used effectively, so don't feel restricted to the products I use in this video. The other approach is Valhallan Blizzard from Games Workshop. It's a realistic, although costly, alternative. Finally, I will add the still water, tinted with Guilliman blue glaze. The glaze is a discontinued product at this moment, though any semi-transparent product should work well with the still water. Alternatively, you can use a pre-colored water effect. And that marks the end of this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can find a list of the paints and materials used in this tutorial in the video description. Thank you for watching.